2 of the 2019 World Series, and Juan Soto just burst onto the scene last night on the national stage in the Fall Classic. Here's the Washington starting lineup: Turner, Eaton, Rendon, the top three. Same look as last night with Juan Soto, Howie Kendrick, and Asdrubal Cabrera. And then the back end: Ryan Zimmerman, Kurt Suzuki, Victor Robles batting in the number 9 spot, playing center field. And all of that against the 36-year-old right-hander Justin Verlander. Sit back and enjoy it. Ball. Turner takes high for ball 1.
One of the things, Justin Verlander got a chance to look at a lot of video. Not a lot of matchup familiarity with this team, but he also saw the way his teammate pitched him, Garrett Cole, and the adjustments he'll need to make tonight.
Oh, that's out.
That's outside, and a little freeze from Verlander after not getting that call from the home plate umpire, and the count goes to 2-0. Last night, Trey Turner led off with a base hit, stole second base, was stranded in the first. Ball 3-0 to start this at bat.
And you know what Verlander realizes with Turner, why he needs to get him out, is that puts extra stress on the bases with his speed. He's got to work his way back into this count.
Ball 4.
That is a 4-pitch walk from Justin Verlander to start the night. That is about the last thing I thought I would see with the leadoff hitter Turner at the plate. Here's the defense and the HP defensive lineup for the Astros. Typical look: Brantley in left, Springer in center, and Josh Reddick in right. Around the infield, very good with Bregman, Correa, Altuve, and Yuli Gurriel underrated at first base. Robinson, Chirinos now will keep one eye on Verlander, one eye on Trey Turner at first, and Turner draws a throw that Gurriel picks out of the dirt.
There aren't a lot of teams that run. Washington has the capability of running, and now that brings attention to two things. When you're out there on the mound, you don't want anything at first base to take away from the pitch quality at home plate. That's why Turner is so important getting on the base, because now Verlander has to think about two different things rather than just making the pitch to get the hitter out.
Trey Turner with 126 stolen bases over the last 3 years. That's the top total across all of baseball. Davey Martinez, the manager of the Nationals, wanted last night to get the early lead. His team did not. There's a strike to Eaton. They came back and won that game as they hung on and beat the Astros 5-4. But tonight they're trying to figure out a way to get Turner around the bases and jump on top here in the first inning of game 2. That's 3 throws over. And that's the best of the 3. Last night, Trey Turner did steal the first base of the 2019 World Series, and with that stolen base, all of America wins free Doritos Locos Tacos. Stop by Taco Bell on October 30th from 2 to 6 p.m. to snag yours. That is past the third baseman into left. What a good piece of hitting by Adam Eaton. Just flipped it through the left side and to the right of Bregman. 2 on, nobody out. He did that in last night's game.
Well, that's when he's at his best. I mean, his power stroke is going to be to the pull side, but when he can stay back and against an abbreviated shift, when the ball's up, you've got a better chance as a left-hander to do that and go the other way.
The first inning's been a problem. Regular season, 34 starts, 12 earned runs. But over his 4 starts up until tonight, 7 earned runs. High heat for strike one.
Your team, Joe, that comes in here as the underdog, and you know it, you want to create some doubt in the not only the fan base but the other team by taking advantage of opportunities. And even though they were trailing yesterday, they were able to take advantage of Garrett Cole in situations that really nobody else was able to in this incredible stretch run that he was in.
That's a strike, and it's 0-2. Rendon hitting .345 with runners in scoring position since 2017. That's 4th best across baseball. Good pitch here. Led the way with 126 RBIs during the regular season. Opportunity for the Nationals, and that's into left. Well hit and off the wall. It bounces away, and 2 runs are going to score. What a start for the Nationals. A 2-run double by Rendon and a 2-0 Game 2 lead. A single and this double that hit high off the wall and left by Rendon.
Went with a changeup, and that changeup did not fool Rendon. He's so good with 2 strikes. He was able to stay back, see how he used his hands and flip it off that wall, and you never know where that's going to bounce off of that scoreboard. Springer does a nice job getting over to it. But the speed on the bases is evident with the Nationals. Wow, when they came in here and jumped on Verlander early.
So the first inning, a trouble inning for Verlander again. And now Juan Soto up there ready to swing. Strike 1. Last night 3 for 4, a home run, 3 RBIs and a stolen base.
It's not even a breaking out party. It's just this kid is that good. I mean, in the year that he had this year, and of course, when he burst on the scene, almost winning the Rookie of the Year, this kid has got something special, and Washington's glad to have him.
Opportunity for more. Runner at second. Nobody out. Strike 2.
I really get a chance. We got a chance earlier to talk to him. Really enjoyed just getting to know a young player that thinks old and thinks differently. And with 2 strikes, what you're going to see here is a spread out and choked up in the bat. And with 2 strikes, he's not all or nothing. He has the ability to command the strike zone and find a way to the barrel of the ball, to get the barrel of the bat to the ball.
Takes up the whole batter's box and waits.
Ball, that's out.
Takes outside. And he's just got so much energy going in the batter's box. Animated. He will tell you that he owns that little piece of real estate here in Houston that he's standing in right now. Here comes a 1-2 from Verlander. A strikeout for out number 1.
Well, he went with the fastball away, choking up, and see how his backside leaves him, and there's not enough length in his arm to get to that pitch.
It'll bring in the DH, Howie Kendrick. The MVP of the NLCS. Fooled there, strike 1. If you remember back in Game 5 at Yankee Stadium, the Astros got a run at the top of the first, but then the Yankees went to work with a home run by DJ LeMahieu, eventually a 3-run shot by Aaron Hicks. Verlander settled in, did not allow anything after that. The ball game ended 4-1, and the series returned to Houston, where the Astros won it. Reddick has out number 2. Kendrick flies out, and Asdrubal Cabrera will walk in. Home plate umpire is Doug Eddings. Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief. James Hoy at second base. Lance Barksdale over at third. Sam Holbrook is in left. Alan Porter worked the plate last night. He's in right. And Jim Wolf will join the on-field crew. He is in the replay office back in New York. Cabrera picked up in season, hit .323 in 38 games with the Nationals, 1 for 4 last night. And all in, drove in 91 runs during the regular season. Strike one.
You know what's amazing is what you mentioned, that game that Verlander had in New York, and no one will even remember or think of it this way. Those 7 innings he pitched went a long way to help the Astros go on to win this ALCS because it saved the bullpen. They were able to use that bullpen game on Game 6, and it's really the reason why they're here tonight. But the Nationals jumping out, kind of shocking the crowd again. 2 studs in the rotation getting dented up a little bit.
How about that stat? Just the 3rd time in the career of Justin Verlander, he walks the leadoff hitter of a ball game on 4 pitches. He came up with the Tigers in 2005. You have to go back to April 2008, the last time he did it. And then the Nationals here tonight took advantage of it. 0-2 pitch. Just got a piece.
But Justin Verlander, like every other pitcher, has a game plan, and he comes in with a game plan. Unfortunately, in the last 2 games, the first inning, he's had to rethink it in his mind and try to figure out, do I need to adjust? Do I need to make better pitches? And as the game goes on, he starts getting better and better and better. But unfortunately, another 2 runs in the first inning, and he'll have to depend on his offense.
Ball 1. And his offense will deal with Steven Strasburg tonight. For coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes. Switch hitting, second baseman waits. Pitch number 20 from Verlander on its way, and a strikeout ends the inning. But a good start for the Nationals as they get 2 runs on 2 hits and a walk, leave a man, and lead Game 2. Stay tuned for more action from the World Series on Fox, presented by YouTube TV. Nationals on top, and here's a lineup for the Astros in Game 2. They lead it off with George Springer, went deep last night. Jose Altuve and Michael Brantley. In the middle, Alex Bregman. He has struggled. Yuli Gurriel at first. Yordan Alvarez is the DH. In the back end, 7, 8, 9. Carlos Correa, Robinson Chirinos did not start last night. Josh Reddick plays right back ninth against Steven Strasburg, who turned 31 years old this year. Let's see what he's done in his postseason career. An ERA of 1.10. Strike 1 to Springer.
He's been awesome. Hitters only hit 128 off his curveball. You're going to see that the most tonight. Change up only 139. Those are 2 deadly secondary pitches.
Strike 2 on Springer.
He throws his 4-seamer. He'll throw a slider once in a blue moon, and he'll sink it. What he does is he simplified his mechanics by pitching out of the stretch, and this guy has incredible stuff. Now, the Achilles heel for him is going to be if base runners get on and they have the ability to run. You can steal off of Strasburg, so they look for the Astros to take advantage of that.
How about the difference from the top to the bottom of the first? A 4-pitch walk to a 3-pitch strikeout. 1 away. Springer is gone, and the batter will be Altuve.
Well, this is that breaking ball I was talking about. Scherzer is blessed with so much talent that this year he finally put it together and stayed healthy. Strasburg, sorry. And when you see the numbers on his ERA at 1.10 in the postseason, the sky's the limit for this young man if he stays healthy.
Here's Jose Altuve. Last night 1 for 5. Love sitting here at home, and he takes ball one inside.
In the postseason, they have kind of flip-flopped how they've attacked Altuve. In the season, it was 54% of pitches were fastballs. This postseason, 54% have been non-fastballs.
Ball. 2-0 at 95 miles per hour. Altuve sitting on a pitch, and a breaking ball on 2-0 is a beauty.
He could throw that anytime he wants for a strike. I mean, he's got that so locked in, and then when he breaks out the changeup, that's when the hitters are really like, okay, it's not fair. We eliminate one pitch, can't eliminate two.
To the fastball for strike two. Behind on the count 2-0. He drops in a breaking ball and hits the outside edge with a fastball to even the count. That's down the line. Fair ball toward the corner. At least two. Altuve's got a double with one out in the first.
Care how small this guy is, he finds a way to get out of the strike zone. He's just a hitter, and when you're a hitter, you swing a lot, you make contact a lot, you may not always hit it hard, but you find ways to hit it away from the defenders. This guy is one of the best.
And now he's reached base safely in 22 consecutive postseason games. It goes back to the end of 2017 postseason. The dude is a machine. One on, one out, stealing third. Throw down. In time. Caught stealing two away. And that was brilliantly done. Good throw, but a great cover by Rendon, who had to really move across a lot of ground to take that throw.
Well, this is what you got to do, and usually third's the easiest base to steal, but he gives them actually a pretty good speed delivery, and you mentioned it. Rendon gets there and applies the tag right in time. And that is a tough out at third.
Perfect throw and a great cover by Rendon. 2 out, nobody on for Brantley, who took a strike and now swings at another.
That's that changeup. I mean, that is so filthy, the way that pitch drops, starts in the strike zone, drops at 88 miles an hour. One of the best contact hitters in the game, comes off those last two fingers, and that bottom just drops out.
I got it.
For Strasburg, we touched on him. He was the first overall pick by the Nationals in 2009, made that debut on June 8th, 2010, and struck out 14 with all that hype. Did that against the Pirates. Struck out the final 7 hitters. He's been through Tommy John surgery. They've limited his innings over the years. They famously shut him down the first week of September when they were headed for the postseason in 2012. And his GM Mike Rizzo, they are reaping the benefits of all that now because he is at his best in 2019.
Yeah, and you never know if you're going to get another chance. That big moment when they shut him down for the postseason, of course, such high expectancy to see this guy pitch. He didn't pitch.
Ball, but he's back. Throw on Brantley now. Well, last night Scherzer gave up 2 runs in the first inning and then battled and ended up going 5. His teammates came back, rewarded him. He got the win tonight. Verlander gave up 2 runs in the first inning. We know he knows how to battle. Astros would like to flip the script. That's into center, and a base hit in front of Robles. But with Altuve thrown out trying to steal third, it's just a 2-out single to bring in Alex Bregman. The 8-speed defensive lineup for the Nationals in the outfield: Soto, Robles, and Eaton. Around the infield, it's Rendon, Turner, Cabrera, Zimmerman. Kurt Suzuki has already shown his worth last night, blocking balls in the dirt, and already cut down Altuve trying to swipe third.
Well, here's the guy that's got to get going for the Astros. Their MVP and possibly an MVP on the season has to get out of the funk he's in right now.
He was quoted last night after the ballgame saying, "I've been terrible this postseason." He was brutally honest assessing his performance. I think A.J. Hinch, the manager, had to play psychologist trying to get him to flush what's happened so far and get back locked in, because when he's good, and he believes it's more a mechanical flaw than anything with Bregman, that little extra motion he has when he brings the bat back, the numbers aren't good.
It's a little
when he's good, John, he can carry a team.
Yeah, it's a little trigger he's talking about when he puts the bat in a position that lets the rest of his body free up.
He's late there at 95 in the count 1-2.
I say it all the time about baseball. It's like anything in sports. If you're in between at all, whether it's mentally or physically, you're never going to be able to be the kind of player you want to be. You've got to be completely locked in on what you're doing and let it go.
Another good block by Suzuki. The count evens 2-2. Bregman is a studier. He's a game planner. And his manager will tell you, when a pitcher goes against the game plan that Bregman sets out for his at-bats, trying to think ahead of the pitcher and how he's going to get him out, if they don't follow what Bregman thinks they're going to do, he has a tough time pulling the trigger right now. There it goes. He's back. Game tied.
Well, the curveball leads him off, and then another curveball gets him a strike. That fastball right there, he missed, and then really Strasburg leaves a changeup middle in, and he does not miss it. Woo, that was big for him.
Can you imagine, first of all, how that felt for Bregman? Secondly, if you're A.J. Hinch, you think, I just got my cleanup hitter back.
For sure, and you got that stolen base thrown out at third base back, because that was a big moment too.
One pitch now to Gurriel. Back to third. Good play by Rendon. And a good play on the other end by Zimmerman, but crowd's back. The game's tied. Bregman may be back. 2-2 pitch, crunch. 2-2 after one. Game 2. Justin Verlander now has allowed 9 first-inning runs this postseason. That's the most ever for him in a postseason year. 6 over his last 2 starts, and he hits the outside corner. We'll see if he can settle in.
Yeah, when he's right, that's his glove side command. Fastball away. He'll elevate the fastball that brings in the curveball, the slider. Uncharacteristically to Rendon, he threw a changeup after getting his slider going. That's the pitch right there that makes the deadly combination for what Verlander, classic four-seam fastball, breaking ball. You can't it's too hard to cover both. If he stays on the glove side part of the plate away from Zimmerman and the right-handed hitters, it'll be much tougher for the Nationals.
Ryan popped a big home run last night with 2 out in second to make it a 2-1 game.
Ball, it's out.
He tried to hold up. They don't appeal. And they count 1-2. It's Zimmerman, then Kurt Suzuki, then Victor Robles. The 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Nationals.
Ball, it's out.
Chirinos hangs his head. Verlander takes a deep breath and says, okay. And it's 2-2.
Just a little bit outside. But that's where he wants. That's the lane he wants to stay in.
Zimmerman just spoiled that pitch.
When Verlander came over here, fastball, curveball was real good, but he was really struggling with his slider. And with the Astros and Brent Strom and the technology, he was able to see why his slider was getting more horizontal and less break, and he was able to fix it. And he's gone to that next level with that slider curveball combination.
Struck him out. Let's go back to that home run hit by Alex Bregman. This moonshot alert is brought to you by YouTube TV. History happens live.
See, once he set that back, it all flew at one motion. I don't know what the 4 means, but we'll find out.
Ball, it's in.
Said, put 4 fingers out and said 4 of them. Maybe 4 bases because he hit a home run.
Could be.
Ball inside to Kurt Suzuki. And by the way, hold please. There's a 1-0.
Tied.
Ball.
Tied. You're going to say something about tied.
Yeah, Justin Verlander is now tied with my dear friend John Smoltz.
See ya.
The most career strikeouts postseason all time. And I know there are more rounds and all that, more opportunity, but the next one's 200 and he's number one all by himself. Here's a 2-0. A base hit through the left side by Suzuki. That pitch was up and Suzuki jumped on it. 1 on, 1 out. Tom Verducci, tell us more about the slider for Verlander.
Well, Justin hasn't been happy with it throughout this postseason, and the numbers certainly show that. Hitters have been slugging 500 against his slider, which is one of the 2 or 3 best in baseball. So in his bullpen session with pitching coach Brent Strom, he changed the grip. He discovered that he'd been holding it too loose in the hand. He had the same grip similar to his 4-seam fastball, but he went back to the slider grip where the ball is deeper in the hand. You saw a good one right there. You saw a good one to get Ryan Zimmerman. The slider now tonight, guys, has some bite to it. In the postseason, it had been rolling, and it's all because he changed that grip to get it deeper in the hand. Looks much better tonight.
So now we know what he was talking about when he said, yeah, I've worked on a couple of things after that start at Yankee Stadium before this World Series. And we said, well, what was that? And he just kind of looked at us like, are you kidding me? I'm not going to tell you. Counts 0-2 now on Victor Robles.
Well, you got to be behind the ball, right? And that spin right there is more vintage spin. That little dot, when the seams come together and you see a little dot, it's going to be hard for the hitter. When you see a circle, it's going to be easier for the hitter. And those are the pitches that usually get hit a long ways.
Victor Robles waits the 0-2 pitch. He struck him out. Career strikeout number 200 in the postseason for Justin Verlander. Now number 1 all time. 2 out. And back to the top of the order in Trey Turner, who walked on 4 pitches last inning and then scored on the 2-run double by Rendon. Well, that pitch looks filthy tonight.
Yeah, the curveball has great late break, which means that's the pitch you're going to spin from top to bottom. Of course, you're going to create a different arc than you are when you're throwing the slider. The slider is going to be the closest thing to that fastball grip, and when you come off the fingers, the hitter can't really tell that it's something other than the fastball. The curveball pops out of his hand. The hitter right away kind of takes it because he thinks it's high, and he can fool a lot of hitters with that pitch as well.
Don't want to make too much of this, but it was a little bit different to see the home plate umpire Doug Eddings ask for the baseball prior to that last pitch. Another nasty delivery from Verlander. Verlander flipped it to him. Eddings looked at it and threw it back to Verlander. And it counts 0-2 on Trey Turner.
Probably thought it might have hit the ground, but I don't think it did.
I don't know if somebody asked the home plate umpire to do it. Looked like he looked over to his left prior to that. I don't know. Conspiracy theories. A wry smile on the face of John Smith. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Defensive swing and a pop up into right for Reddick. Verlander looks like he's settled in. After 1.5 here in Houston. 2-2. What would you like the power to do? And by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. For unique content, including highlights, photos, and graphics during the World Series, for every hot stove update during the offseason, follow MLB on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Yordan Alvarez moved up the spot. Last night had a walk and a couple of hits, takes a strike, and we're underway in the bottom of the second. Alvarez, Correa, Chirinos. But he gets on the number 9 man, Josh Reddick.
Ball, that's in.
You know, today pitchers, ideally, people ask, well, how come some of the better pitchers give up runs in the first and then don't really do much after that? It's hard to explain, but basically you're talking about guys that want to set up their pitches, because these are guys that want to pitch longer into the game, so they're not going to show the hitters everything they have right away. And the style of hitting has changed today, and you see more pitchers throw everything they have to offer in the first inning because everyone's capable of hitting a home run. So you can't really just say fastball away, here you go.
That is hit and caught by Cabrera in shallow right. Alvarez making a bid for his 3rd hit of this World Series, and they couldn't have put his Rupert Cabrera in a better spot.
That ball started to go away from Cabrera. I mean, this is a really good play, and when you're playing that deep, everything about playing second base is different. Angles are different. Obviously, the throws are different because you're so deep. You got to have a shortstop arm now to play in a shift type defense for a second baseman.
They play Carlos Correa around on the infield, a bit to pull. 1 for 5 last night.
Ball.
2-0.
So these are the counts that Strasburg has the ability to get back in the count with a curveball. His fastball, you know, you've seen it anywhere from 94 to 96 miles an hour.
He did that to Altuve, and he does it here to Correa.
going to get. It's the highest percentage of pitches that he throws on average. And of course, when you get in a postseason game, everyone has that data, and it's up to the pitcher to determine how he's going to deviate and mess with the hitters based on the numbers that they get to see and when he throws this count.
Ball.
Strasburg wants a new baseball. That last pitch called ball 3. It's 3-1.
Looked like it was in the strike zone, but they had to reach to go get it because he was set up in a different area. Just the presentation of that made it look like it was up and away.
3-1. Full count. Strasburg said, "Here, hit it," and Carlos Correa swung through it. Bothered by a bad back down the stretch was Correa. Healthy this postseason. Breaking ball gets him looking. He was frozen. Strikeout number 2. Out number 2 here in the second.
See, what the Astros have done to the Yankees and what they did early in this series is they are trying to not swing at breaking balls. And most of them usually are out of the zone by most of the pitchers, but Strasburg has the ability to hit with that pitch. And it makes it difficult if you see anything with spin and not swing at it. If it's in the zone, you're in trouble.
Chirinos has had a rough go this postseason, 2 for 22. Gets his first at bat at the World Series and takes the breaking ball low. One of his 2 hits left the park. That was against Tampa Bay. 2-0.
This is a part of the lineup really for the Astros that had really been struggling. 6 through 9.
Yordan Alvarez looks like he's turned the corner. That's foul. Alvarez had that rough ALCS last night, a couple of hits and a walk, and tonight hit the ball hard but caught on a line in shallow right to start this inning by Cabrera. Two and one to count on Chirinos. Two and two.
That movement, that late movement by Strasburg with velocity. He's got pitches that go away from right-handers and then start away and come back in. That is just hard to cover both sides of the plate.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Strasburg, and we are through the first 2 in game 2, tied 2-2 here in Houston. What a great moment provided by Chevy and for Coach Weatherford. That was prior to tonight's game, and now in game we move into the 3rd inning. 2-2. Eaton, Rendon, and Soto. 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Nationals. Each side got 2 in the first. Ball and a strike.
Lower than low, below the zone or outs. He's a good low ball hitter. He said his power is to the pull side, and he's done a great job against Cole and Verlander, taking what they're throwing and going the other way.
That caught the outside corner.
So now Justin knows which side of the plate he can get an inch or 2 off. It looks like it's that side because setting up inside hasn't gotten that call yet.
That is into center. Easy for Springer, 1 down. And I think Mr. Eden is upset about that strike 2 call. That'll bring in Anthony Rendon, who delivered for the Nationals as he has all year. Free agent to be. About to cash in somewhere. A 2-run double back in the first. Gives him 9 RBIs this postseason.
Ball.
Quiet heartbeat, quiet hands, just not a flashy player, but a great defender. Obviously having a monster offensive year. I think Justin Verlander would like to have a 2-strike changeup pitch back that he was able to hit off the wall for that 2-run double.
Talked about last night, Rendon is from here. Played collegiately at Rice. That is strike 2, and the last 2 fastballs perfectly placed by Verlander. Altuve had to wait and then showed off the arm to get out number 2. Here comes last night's star Juan Soto. Here's Ken Rosenthal.
So in 2015, Nationals International Scouting Director John DePuglia and another Nat scout went to see Juan Soto at a showcase for Dominican prospects at Fort Lauderdale Stadium. The Nats duo were intrigued by Soto's offensive potential, and they removed him from the game so they could work him out in the batting cage. Well, 2 Diamondback scouts started hearing loud sounds from the cage, and they wandered over to see what was going on. The Nats scout said, John DePuglia said, "Hey, guys, it's too late. We've already got him done." Actually, the Nats did not have him done at that point, and the Diamondbacks and other teams continued to pursue him. But in the end, the Nats got their man, signing Soto for $1.5 million after a late run by the Padres. It was the most the Nats had ever invested in an international player.
And they invested it wisely, and that's just part of the now growing legend of the soon-to-be 21-year-old Juan Soto.
In-game adjustments usually reserved for guys who played a long time in the big leagues. Understand what the pitchers are trying to do to him. This guy makes game-to-game in-game adjustments at the raw age of 20.
Ball.
That's inside. Here's a nice list to be on. World Series home runs before turning 21, which he will on Saturday turn 21. With Andrew Jones, Mickey Mantle, and Miguel Cabrera. That is rocketed down toward the corner. At least 2. Reddick digs it out. Soto's got a 2-out double. That's his 3rd extra base hit in 2 World Series games. Here's a little more about Juan Soto. Born in '98 in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Childish Bambino is his nickname. 3rd youngest position player this MLB season. The 2nd youngest player with a home run in his World Series debut. You see what he did with the 3 or more RBIs in last night's ball game, and the list that he's on there, it's short. His swing is anything but, and it is powerful.
It is. He just doesn't swing at breaking balls, swing and miss that often. It's the lowest in the game, and it says so much about this young man. He just hit a breaking ball in the corner for a 2-out double.
RBI chance for Kendrick. Strike 1. And we talked to Juan Soto before the game. Talked to him about learning English. He said, how'd you learn it so well growing up in the Dominican Republic? He said, since I got here, I've been listening. If I heard a phrase or if I heard something that I'd never heard before, I figured out what it was and I used it myself that day. He's a mature 20-year-old. That is strike 2 on Howie Kendrick. The 36-year-old.
Well, he's been so good for them, but the outs are all over the plate. You got to get it away like Justin Verlander has done there. See if he tries to steal a few more inches away after Howie Kendrick swung at that slider. Just don't want to mess with the down and in portion of that strike zone against Kendrick. Loves it. Those usually reserved for left-handed hitters. The down and in, their sweet stroke. He's been pretty good there and covers the strike zone as a whole about as good as any right-handed hitter on their team.
Popped up for Reddick. Bottom of the third inning, game 2. It'll be Reddick, Springer, Altuve for the Astros in a 2-2 game. Alongside Sharon Robinson, the daughter of the legendary Jackie Robinson. Breaking Barriers is an educational program inspired by Jackie, through which students learn about his life values and how they can apply them to overcome obstacles in their own lives. Visit MLBcommunity.org to learn more. Fox Sports Supports is proud to partner with the Jackie Robinson Foundation, which carries on Jackie's legacy through its scholarship programs in the upcoming opening of the Jackie Robinson Museum in New York City this winter. Visit JackieRobinsonMuseum.org to learn more. Reddick takes a strike from Steven Strasburg, and now another strike on the board as he fouls it away.
Reddick's another guy that they would love to get going in the bottom of this order. Good low ball hitter. It seems to me he's been just missing pitches and popping them up a lot.
Lifted for a pinch hitter midway through last night, went 0 for 2, 3 for 24 this postseason. A home run in game 3 at Yankee Stadium, ALCS. Fooled. I'm assuming, John, that was the changeup.
Yes, it's filthy. When he doesn't get out in front, no, his elbow catches up. We call it getting out in front or collapsing your backside, and you make the changeup kind of have a hump. When it has this action and it just fades hard, I know people at home are saying, why would a guy swing at a pitch like that? Well, it's because it's starting like it's coming right down the middle, and you're seeing that movement. Great delivery. Head is still. Another strikeout for Strasburg.
4 on the night. Springer takes the ball. By the way, when we were going on and on about Juan Soto, I said that he turns 21 on Saturday. He turns 21 game 3, which is Friday. So if you're planning on getting him something, or baking him the cake, you have to get it done by Friday.
Ball.
That's just outside. Count 2-0.
Again, presentation, the ball's supposed to be in. He reaches across. It looks like it goes through the box. It's not 100% accurate that you're seeing. But where you're setting up and reaching, he's set up in, he reaches, and doesn't get the call.
2-0 pitch now. Springer. 2-1.
He was sitting on that breaking ball, it looked like, and just came out of his shoes.
We're talking about birthdays. You know whose birthday it is today?
I do not.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch with 1 out.
Ball down.
And that's a pretty good pitch called ball 3, 3-1. Tom Verducci.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday to Tom Verducci. I don't know how old he is.
30. He's 30. Look
I
at
know
him.
how
21 years old. Turned 21.
It works. This guy hasn't aged. Headshot at Citi Field is like 25 years old. He looks exactly like it here in 2019. 3-1 pitch. Popped up. Cabrera out to grab it. 2 down. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Steal a Base, Steal a Taco. Only at Taco Bell. And and by Indeed, the world's #1 job site.
Comes that man.
That man's name is Jose Altuve, who doubled and then was caught trying to steal third in the first. Good bender in there for strike one. We've seen some close pitches that Strasburg hasn't gotten. And he doesn't really react. He's not an overly emotional guy. When he's gotten some big outs this postseason, he's been a little more animated than he's been previously in the big leagues. 1-1 pitch.
Oh, that's out.
Another pretty good pitch. Down 2-1.
Yeah, I had a early bad habit of when I threw a pitch like this and just sitting there and staring in, letting the umpire know he thought it's a strike, and he got a little bit of that. And that way you don't, I guess in a way that's still kind of showing him up.
2-2 on Altuve.
I stopped doing it. Or not quite as bad as I used to be.
You think he likes hitting here?
It's amazing. And this time of year, his engine is so perfect for this game. Has a blast.
Ball.
You and I haven't talked to any hitters that don't love hitting in this park. With the backdrop, being able to see the pitch, whatever the lighting is. Obviously, the dimensions are cozy for hitters. Turner, a bobble. Altuve was watching and still reaches as Zimmerman can't dig it out. Turner dropped it, picked it up, fired low, and Altuve is on with 2 out in the third.
Well, because he can run so much and Turner's playing deep, the ball is hit firmly and takes kind of a wicked hop at the end. Little top spin. See that hit? That hop got high on the glove, and Zimmerman knows, hits him on the heel, pops out of the glove, and now he's got to just do whatever he can to fire it. Tough pickup for Zimmerman.
And remember, Trey Turner's playing with that fracture at the base of his right index finger that hasn't totally healed. He came back sooner than he probably should. He commits the error. You see just how that's still swollen. Not pretty at the base of his right index finger. A check on the runner, Altuve. As now Strasburg tries to pitch around a 2-out error with Michael Brantley at the plate.
Ball.
Well, the best pitch to try and steal on would be the breaking ball if you knew or at least anticipated the count he might throw it. With 2 outs, it's worth the risk to try and get the second base with Brantley up.
That at bat by Brantley back in the first was big. Altuve had just been caught stealing. Brantley had fallen behind in the count 0-1 on the caught stealing, then 0-2. Worked the count full and got a base hit to center, and then Alex Bregman, the guy on deck, launched one to left to tie the game. inside corner. The ball and a strike.
Has a little bit of a feel of the Yankees game 2. Yankees took a lead. Springer tied it up with a home run. They won it into extra innings. Big game in that series that kind of flipped the series. Two great teams going at it.
Verlander started that game. Won by Carlos Correa in the 11th inning with a home run to right to even that series. And the Astros rode Garrett Cole for a win in game 3. Ended up winning it in 6.
Breaking ball here.
Hard hit foul.
It's amazing watching Brantley and how calm he is. The guy could be throwing 110 on the mound. He's got that little step. Doesn't do much with his lower half. Even though he's using it, gets the foot down quick, and then his hands are always in perfect position. If it's in, he pulls it. If it's away, he hits it away.
Still 1-2.
May not see the day and age of the Tony Gwynns as much anymore, with power being king. But it's times like this in the postseason when you really get down to what makes the difference between a championship winner. Could very well be these kind of at-bats. This guy in the right situation to make contact, to drive in that run without getting a hit.
Off the end of the bat, into right. Altuve over to third. It's first and third with 2 out. Brantley's 2 for 2.
It's a tough guy to throw a changeup to because he doesn't commit. And even though he gets it off the end of the bat, you can see him stay back long enough. They're playing cover 2, and he split the zone right there.
And here's Bregman. One hop to Turner, inning over. Astros get the error, they hit, they strand their first 2 of the game, still tied 2-2 after 3. Nationals got 2 in the top of the first on a 2-run double by Anthony Rendon. And then the Astros third baseman went to work in the bottom of the first with a 2-out 2-run shot. Just about dead even so far through 3 between Strasburg and Verlander, and as Rubel Cabrera leads it off, Ryan Zimmerman and Kurt Suzuki will follow here in the 4th. Cabrera struck out his first time.
ball.
He has been so good for the Nationals since being acquired. Of course, Dozier plays some second base. Kendricks can play second base. Cabrera, timing was really good in what offense he was able to provide for the Nationals when he came over.
At least in Texas. Came over in August. Played a great second base. And all he's done is hit. Started last night. Starts in game 2. That's strike 2. It'll be different when this series shifts to DC with no DH.
Obviously hurts the Astros a lot more than it hurts the Nationals. That's when you see a little different style. Pitchers will put bunting more than likely. Verlander wants to tie him up inside if he can again with that fastball if he chooses to.
Cabrera strikes out for the second time. And there's one out here in the 4th inning. Ryan Zimmerman is coming up. Ken Rosenthal, there's some history between these two.
There is, Joe. In 2004, Justin Verlander was a junior at Old Dominion. Ryan Zimmerman, a sophomore at Virginia. Now, college teams usually save their best starting pitchers for the weekend, but Old Dominion badly wanted to beat its in-state rival, so it pitched Verlander in a midweek game. Zimmerman recalls it was freezing cold. 50 scouts were in attendance. Verlander was throwing 100 miles per hour at a time when not a lot of pitchers did that. Well, 15 years later, slightly different venue. Here they are again.
Yeah, Zimmerman was the first pick ever by the Washington Nationals in 2005. And Justin Verlander was the number 2 overall pick out of Old Dominion in 2004. That rolls in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. At this level, Verlander has won the battle with Zimmerman. 0 for 5 against Verlander is the longtime Washington National.
Well, he's back in rhythm, and you can tell he got a little pep in his step. Pounding strikes, hitting with his secondary stuff.
Had him reaching, going to be a tough play. Verlander throws it into his own leg. It'll be a base hit, and it's got Verlander smiling as the 36-year-old went down to get it, did all he could.
That was an actual incredible play to get to it. And he knew that Zimmerman doesn't run exceptionally well. Watch this play right here. Bare hands it, and as he throws, he hits his own leg. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's how flexible he is.
Right off his left shin. And a 1-out hit for Zimmerman to bring in Kurt Suzuki, who singled to left center his first time up.
Suzuki loves that first pitch.
He also loves when runners are on. Regular and postseason combined, he's hit .320 in 2019, and he's got Zimmerman at first with 1 out.
Justin doesn't get many double plays because he's more of a fly ball strikeout pitcher.
Big hole on the right side of the infield. This one is hit to left center. Hangs up for Brantley, who has it for out number 2. Back to first, Zimmerman. Robles coming up. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Dell Technologies. Let's harness your digital future today. And by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. What are you going to go as for Halloween this year?
Don't do Halloween. My kids always complain that when they were little, they should just, for a day, be somebody they're different. You know, that they're not. Yeah. Do that any day you want in my house.
Oh! It's a fly ball in the center. It's depressing. I didn't think I was going to unearth that out of you. You got a future Hall of Famer laughing at himself and a Hall of Fame curmudgeon to my right who doesn't like Halloween. 2-2 in game 2. Yuli Gurriel first up for Houston. 4th inning, 2-2 game. Poured in there from Strasburg, strike 1. Pitched around an error and a hit last inning. Gurriel grounded out his first time. Strike 2.
It's interesting. I saw that changeup right there. That's the 1 weak spot. Down and in against Gurriel. But guess what? If you make a mistake and you leave that over the middle, see how he keeps his hands back and then he's quick to get that head of the bat through. But that's the one little kind of blind spot. Everything else he covers up, down. Not many right-handed pitchers will throw changeups to right-handed hitters. But not many pitchers have Strasburg's changeup.
Struck him out on 94, up and out of the strike zone. Strikeout number 5. Well, tomorrow night, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews, Tina Pink, and I will be in Minneapolis for the Redskins and the Vikings on Thursday Night Football right here on Fox. And 2 of our pregame panel. We're doing like a Rorschach test there, or what was it?
I don't know.
But the helmets were there. One out, nobody on. Yordan Alvarez. That game tomorrow night, you got Case Keenum quarterbacking the Redskins, going against the Vikings, where he had that thrilling walk-off touchdown to Stephon Diggs a couple of years ago. And got Adrian Peterson, who is the running back for the Redskins, going to Minnesota. And then, for good measure, Kirk Cousins, who is red hot right now, and I think just beat your Lions. John Smoltz taking on his former team, Washington, tomorrow night.
All factual stuff you just said.
Takes a while to wrap my shrinking brain around all that. The 2-0 pitch, hard hit, base hit by Alvarez. His at-bats have been much better after a rough ALCS. 1 on, 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, they have been better, and there's the changeup. He gets out in front and is able to beat the shift because this is a strong man. Now, there'll be some decisions to make come Washington and what AJ wants to do based on either what he's seeing Alvarez do, but they lose the DH. So therefore, they might lose that man. You see the numbers and where he was in the ALCS, and much better here in the World Series.
Here's Carlos Correa. Struck out his first time up. Struck out 3 times last night. Postseason, not many hits. When he has connected, he's made the most of them. Foul for strike 1.
Again, the potential for this young man at a shortstop position with what he possesses offensively. but he's been banged up the last couple years to get that continuity going to where he feels locked in at the most important time of the year. And free agency looming for him. I'm sure he would like to put it all together and stay healthy next year for sure.
Ball. Didn't go after that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Injuries cost Correa all but 75 games during the regular season. Jammed. Fair ball. Tough play. And a good play by Rendon. Down to second. Alvarez 2 down.
Well, the throwing motion works out real well for Rendon on this play as he comes in, right tugging the line right around the bag. He fields it. He's a low 3/4 sidearm delivery kind of guy, and that's pretty natural. And having a first baseman who's pretty long at first helps out.
Rendon is just so good at that particular part of defending at third base, coming in on balls, and he showed it there as that ball hopped cleanly over the bag for out number 2. Correa 0 for 2. Here's Chirinos, and Strasburg steps off. One.
Up and away, down and away with the fastball. Chirinos struggles. He likes the ball closer to him. Obviously wants to pull it for his power. That's the spot right there. You throw it right there one more time, and that's probably what you're going to see. Hard to cover both sides against 95. You got to have one side you're willing to not miss, and the other you're just hoping to foul it off with 2 strikes.
Time called at the plate. Strasburg has allowed 2 first-inning runs. Each side has 5 hits. Here we go. Each pitcher 5 strikeouts.
So he wanted to target up, get it up a little bit more.
Don Alvarez with a 1-out single into right. Correa grounded out to third for out number 2, all after Gurriel struck out to start this 4th. Pitch number 71 on its way. Ball. A strikeout for Strasburg, number 6. And we are 2-2 through 4 in Game 2 of the World Series, and we're back after this from your local Fox station. TV on Fox. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by State Farm. 5th inning now of Game 2. Top of the order. For the Nationals, Turner, Eaton, Rendon. Along with our producer, Pete Macheska, our director, Matt Gangle, our technical director, Paul Harvath. Hundreds of others working very hard day after day. We welcome you back to what's turning into the pitching duel we expected coming in after each pitcher gave up 2 in the first. 0-2 count on Trey Turner.
We're going to show you after this inning why difficult and how difficult it is to hit Justin Verlander with the variety of pitches he has. Turner vulnerable away, fastballs away, caught looking on the outside part of the plate is where you get him.
Off the end of the bat into right center field, base hit. An 0-2 pitch that Verlander made too good, and Turner is on to start the 5th inning for the Nationals.
That's huge for the Nationals. This is a breaking ball that's off the end, but he does a great job just flicking the bat, making contact, and getting rewarded. And now his speed is on the base path, and I'm sure he will try to get to second.
2 stolen bases last night for the Nationals. Turner had the first one. Had not attempted to steal the Nationals through their first 10 postseason games. But they want to, and they kind of need to run in this series against Houston.
Absolutely. As good as these pitchers are for the Astros, you got to create pressure. You got to create the illusion, if nothing else, you're thinking about going. And if you're thinking about going, that messes up the timing of Verlander. That messes up the pitches that he's going to throw to the next hitter in Eaton. And that is what is not measured in any kind of number when you think about what it does to the starting pitcher. I know you don't want to make outs on the bases. I get it. And you want about an 85% success rate if you're going to go. But the translation of what that does to the hitter in the batter's box, he's just going to get better pitches to hit.
Eaton making a bid for his 3rd hit the opposite way in these first 2 games. Fouls it, strike 1.
That's why I don't buy the argument in today's style of baseball. If you were to bring the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals in this game and plop them down, they would be super successful, because it's so hard to defend against that speed and finding the hole. You wouldn't be shifting them. It's a great debate to have in the style that we play today, with the home run and the run being put on the board by one swing and the instant access of that. But then the style that Whitey Herzog made so famous and how he frustrated so many other teams.
Speed does not slump.
No.
2 balls and a strike on Adam Eaton. Strike 2.
Because Verlander does take a pretty good time to go to home, he has to vary his times. There'll be times he holds longer, hoping that the runner gets anxious. He'll try to go as quick as he can at some point, not all the time. But the flat reality is he wants to be able to just concentrate on making pitches. He doesn't have to worry about some guy at first taking an extra base.
Might be. It is. Double play. Eaton's ball led Correa right to the bag in an easy step and throw.
This is how difficult it is if you're at the plate to distinguish what you're getting. These 3 pitches are going to come out of the same spot, and then watch what they do. Fastball, let it eat. Curveball starts up, breaks down. Slider, harder, breaks more away from a right-hander and into a left-hander. Those are the 3 quadrants you're going to have to cover if Justin Verlander's on his game.
on the outside edge for a strike to Rendon.
About 15 miles between the high and low.
One ball, one strike. Houston in the bottom of this fifth will have the 9-1-2 hitters. Reddick, Springer, Altuve. Strike two. Verlander this year became the 6th pitcher in American League history to, at the age of 36, win 20 and have an ERA under 3. And the first since Tommy John to do it with the Yankees in 1979. Struck out 300 for the first time in what is sure to be a Hall of Fame career, and now he's in a battle with Rendon as the count stays 2-2.
I found it interesting talking to him. I love picking the brain of pitchers to see what they do during the year as they age. And he said he listens to his body and really doesn't work out that much. He listens to his body, throws when he needs to, but he's a master at really formulating a game plan, working on his mechanics, and really fine-tuning his pitches.
That one squirts away from Chirinos. Wasn't a bad pitch. You know, about full 3-2.
I think it just backed up. It didn't break. This ball's supposed to break. See how it backs up and goes the other way, and he wasn't ready for it.
I think Verlander thought that might have been strike 3.
Yeah.
But Chirinos didn't catch it. 3-2 is high in a 2-out walk. Second walk handed out by Verlander, and that gives Juan Soto a chance to do damage in the 5th.
How about this young kid against Cole? We're going to see this pitch one more time, and it just kind of backs up and a little high out of the zone. He strikes out against Cole, comes right back, hits a homer. Strikes out against Verlander, comes right back, gets a double. In-game at-bat to at-bat adjustments for a 20-year-old. They don't make them like that.
Ball on his toes with that front foot. Takes a ball outside.
When he struck him out, he got to a 2-strike count and got the fastballs away, and he just couldn't reach the fastball. I talked about how he doesn't expand the zone on breaking pitches. He won't swing out of the zone too often. One of the stingiest in the game.
Ball is down.
2-0. Soto came up last season. He's been in 266 major league games, so it's not like he just showed up. And we have a sample size that's, well, it's enough to realize just how good he is. 22 home runs last year, 70 RBIs, started the season in single A. Hit 34 this season, takes a strike on a 2-0 breaking ball. StatCast is powered by AWS, and the spray chart last 100 batted balls that have traveled 200 feet or less.
Turns that foot in, and then all he does is then spins off of it. Now he's got the toe turned in, ready.
Wow. 2-2. If you're on the mound right now and you just threw that pitch and he just put that swing on it, what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to go fastball away because he likes the ball up. But fastball off the plate, a little harder for him. Going to choke up, spread out with 2 strikes, and he's trying to protect against breaking balls and no stride. I would personally throw fastball away. And that's where he tried to get it. He just missed down.
Go back there?
You can. But I'd be real tempted to throw Uncle Charlie, too, the curveball right here that Verlander's been really good. The slider he hit for the double. The curveball he hasn't really seen. So is he saving that for a particular moment like here on a 3-2 pitch when you know Rendon's running 2 outs?
There it is, and a ground ball to first. You could still do it, Smolting. Verlander gets the kid. Possibly, Budweiser reminds you to drink wiser. Bottom of the 5th inning, number 9 hitter Josh Reddick first up.
Strasburg, and you got a guy that's wanting to get going. Be careful on the first pitch to Reddick.
0 for 3 in this World Series. Ball, and he was careful, missed. Ball 1.
Always felt this time of the year when guys are pressing or chasing results and aren't willing to walk. I'm not saying that's the case of Reddick, but when you recognize that as a pitcher, you take advantage of their aggressiveness and you change the way you would normally pitch them.
Zimmerman stays down on it, goes to the bag for out number 1.
Yeah, the changeup of Strasburg is when it is good, it is filthy good. I mean, the depth and the way that it moves out of the zone, I mean, that's Brantley right there. And then this to a right-hander is pretty much dirty. But the bad ones are the ones that float over the middle of the plate. And this one right here is a recipe for a severe long fly ball. You see that one didn't have the late movement or downward action. Bregman tied this game up.
Both starters hurt with the changeup early. Springer. Ball 1, Tom.
Well, hitters came in 2 for 25 in the postseason against the Strasburg changeup. Tonight, 3 for 7 the Houston Astros. Here's the key, guys. All 3 hits have been on changeups in the strike zone. That changeup is designed to dive out of the strike zone. That's when it's effective.
Hard hit. What a pick by Turner. Wow. Tremendous play to Rob Springer, who hit it right on the nose. And even Trey Turner has to smile after picking that.
Oh, this is a great job just kind of getting to the side of the ball and knowing where that short hop is going to be, right? Kind of guessing a little bit. Good hands. Hard to get your face and nose into that one and see it go in the glove.
Yeah, Joe, just to complete that thought on the Strauss changeup, especially that one to Bregman, that was the first home run off a changeup since August off of Steven Strasburg. But I thought that to end that last inning against Chirinos, I thought were his 2 best changeups of the night. Looks like he's finding that pitch for a guy who's working on 8 days of rest, getting better as the game goes on.
Yeah, so not just 6 days of rest for this team overall, but then for these pitchers, 8 days of rest in the case of Strasburg. Turner can't get to. And Altuve is on for the third time tonight.
Center cut fastball, usually not good to the Houston Astros. Right down the middle, puts his foot down, hits from his feet up. Turner tested twice.
Great contact by Springer. Turned into an out. This one past Trey Turner for Altuve. And the batter is Brantley, who's 2 for 2.
Ball, that's out.
One thing that's difficult when you have a long layoff, it does help the rest for the pitchers, especially the way they were used in that series in LA and then coupled with St. Louis. But you do get a little rust because it's hard to simulate throwing 4 days and then taking 4 days off and getting ready as if you're in a routine of your 5-day rotation.
The Nationals had games that they played in practice during the layoff and did them at night under the lights. They had live batting practice, took the batting cage away, tried to make it as realistic as possible, but as you say, nothing can simulate what they're experiencing now.
No, it can't. And just draw on your own experience and trust of your mechanics.
There goes Altuve, and Brantley fouls it straight back. A Budweiser game summary. 2-2 ball game, 5th inning. Anthony Rendon with a 2-run double in the first. Alex Bregman, 2-run home run in the first as the 2 third basemen do their thing at the plate. Strasburg and Verlander after the first inning have settled in.
It's like, you know, I throw a million no-hitters in the bullpen along with 1,000 pitchers. The bullpen is like the driving range at the golf course. It's a lot easier. You just go ahead and hit it. You just go ahead and throw. But when you cross the white line, you got to get back to getting guys out and getting nasty again and getting used to the adrenaline.
Here comes a 1-2.
By the way, I might add, Lockenbar was pretty nice today.
I was going to say, you usually come out hot after playing 18, let alone 27 holes.
I'm going to check out some courses in D.C. too. It's not going to be just here. It's part of my job description, actually.
You're not talking to Bobby Cox and John Sherholtz now. You can do whatever you want. However, from Rupert Murdoch to Lockman on down, they're all listening, so just be careful. Count 1-2 on Michael Brantley. Trying to drive something here with 2 out in a tie game in the 5th. Brantley spoiled a couple of good pitches back to back.
He just spoiled a great changeup. The thing about Brantley would make me nervous when you got the shift on, and of course a changeup's one of the better pitches for a hitter to hit into the shift. But if you threw a fastball up or out or over the plate, it just seems like it would be so easy for him to hit it the other way. But the data shows that's where he's going to hit the majority of pitches that he puts in play.
What a pick by Suzuki, and he throws behind Altuve. I mean, you just can't do it any better, and Suzuki has done it on balls in the dirt the first 2 games of this World Series.
Yeah, and if you're Altuve, you got to read that ball's in the dirt. More than likely, it's going to bounce away, but he had to get back to first. This is just a crazy pick.
Count now 2-2 on Brantley.
So Strasburg goes to something hard after a bunch of slow pitches, slowing down Brantley's eyes just a little bit.
High fly ball into center. Back is Robles, and on the track he hauls it in to end the inning. 6th inning now, and a good one in Houston, Texas, tied 2-2.
Built Ford Tough.
And by Capital One, what's in your wallet? Enjoy every World Series moment with the MLB At Bat app. It's the one place to get all your Astros and Nationals action, including in-game highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, live radio feeds, and much more. Download MLB At Bat today. Which of these 2 starters will blink first? It's 2-2 after 1. It's 2-2 after 5, and a strike into Howie Kendrick. And I mean, just about dead even all the way across. Verlander with 2 walks, and his night started with a 4-pitch walk to Trey Turner. Then a hit by Eaton the other way, and a 2-run double high off the wall and left by Rendon. Astros tied it in the bottom of the 1st. After a 2-out hit by Michael Brantley, a 2-run home run by Alex Bregman, who will lead it off in the bottom of this 6th. 1-2 on Kendrick. 0 for 6 in this World Series.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of the Astros on Kendrick. He had a couple great series, of course, for the Nationals. A couple huge hits. They've kept him at bay, changing speeds and getting him off balance.
Here's the 1-2.
I got you.
The game-winning, the series-winning grand slam in the 10th inning of the division series in L.A., and then 4 doubles in that LCS to take the MVP trophy against St. Louis. 2-2 pitch from Verlander. Kendrick hits it to Springer. 1 out. This week starts Saturday strong with the biggest game in the country on Big Noon Saturday. Number 13 Wisconsin looks to bounce back against number 3 Ohio State in a huge midseason showdown. Coverage begins with Big Noon kickoff on site in Columbus at 11 Eastern on Fox. That means Urban Meyer is back in his old stomping grounds. That'll be fun to see. 1 out, nobody on. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. John, you were referencing that game 2 of the ALCS. Verlander started. Yankees won game 1 7-0. Verlander worked in game 2. At one point gave up a 2-run home run to Aaron Judge. Springer tied the ball game with a home run, and then the Astros won that game on an opposite field home run in the 11th by Carlos Correa.
Well, this obviously is when you have home field advantage and your best 2 pitchers are lined up. You've got to go with bare minimum. You've got to split. And so the longer this game goes tied, of course, it would eventually swing to the Astros with their bullpen, but the tension and the crowd and the pressure kind of falls on the Astros to kind of make something happen.
Cabrera. But Chirinos was crossed up. We've seen that a few times this postseason.
Yeah, he got into a little funk. And he talked to his manager about the way he was shifting. This one's just getting crossed up. And I believe he said something like, "I'll be better." Looked like at one point he had roller skates on. He was moving so much.
Strike at the top of the zone, and the count evens 2-2.
Anytime Verlander wants, he's got the high curveball. There's not anything anybody can do with it, even if they're looking about trying to do damage on a curveball. It's so difficult up in the zone.
Oh, he thought he had out number 2. It's a full count.
Yeah.
As Drupal Cabrera lives to see another pitch, what does he do with it? He strikes out. Ryan Zimmerman walking in. A quick word from Chevrolet.
Chevy Youth Baseball. It's local Chevy dealers giving back. Because we're not just the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. We're empowering the next generation of Major League hopefuls.
Zimmerman singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Homered last night, his second home run of this postseason. And for this first pick by the Washington Nationals back in 2005, his contract's up at the end of the year. The great fans back in D.C. gave Zimmerman a standing ovation at the end of the year, kind of like a send-off, and Ryan was like, "Hey, whoa, wait a minute. I want to keep playing. Don't send me away yet." He'd love to stay with the Nationals. Told us he'd be willing to sign a one-year deal and just kind of go year by year. And he can still do it. It's up to that man, like Rizzo, and ownership.
A lot of movement. The barrel of the bat.
Called a ball, 1 strike, no swing, said Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief. That's a swing and a miss. Strike 2. To wait on it, shows off the arm to get the outs to end the inning. A 1-2-3-6 for Verlander. Bregman first up for the Astros. He's homered tonight, 1 for 2, tied at 2. 2-2 game. Steven Strasburg will deal with a 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Astros in the 6th. Bregman a 2-run shot. Bounced into a force out to short his last time. This is what Alex Bregman did back in the first inning. 1 on, 2 out, bang. Statcast powered by AWS.
And what he did in that at bat is possibly take away the changeup of Strasburg. A lot of times when you give up a homer on that pitch, most pitchers will just can it. I don't know if Strasburg will. He attacked him with a fastball here. First pitch.
Ball, that's out.
Just outside. When Strasburg has missed, it has not been by much.
No, it hasn't. He's been on both sides of the plate, too. He's thrown a high percentage of breaking balls for strikes tonight. That's one of his greatest assets, getting back in counts and getting a strike anytime he wants.
1 and 2.
Well, the Astros have had a kind of weird couple 4 games. Of their 13 runs that they've scored the last 4 games, 8 of them have come in the first inning. And then they kind of go a little dormant. There he went to the changeup and just overthrew it, trying to make sure it stayed down. See if he's saving the breaking ball.
Turner gets the out. And that's the way the bottom of the 6th inning begins. The Hank Aaron Award is given annually to the players selected as the top offensive performer in the American League and National League, voted on by Hall of Famers, fans, and the legendary Hammer and Hank himself. Before tonight's game, Hank, joined by MLB Chief Baseball Officer Joe Torre, announced the 2019 Hank Aaron Award winners: Mike Trout of the Los Angeles Angels and Christian Yelich of the Milwaukee Brewers. Mike Trout unable to attend tonight. With 45 home runs, 104 RBIs at 291. As Gurriel skies one foul down the left field line. Yelich hit 44 home runs, 97 RBIs. Both guys ended the year injured. Trout missing the last 19 games with a foot injury. Yelich the last 18 games. And the postseason with a fractured kneecap. Strike 2. Saw that video of Joe Torre and Hank Aaron. Not just great friends, but former teammates. Gurriel is grounded out, struck out. Strasburg has struck out 6. The big right-hander brings it.
After seeing what Gurriel has done to the inside part of the plate, I would stay away from that plate. Fastball up and away, or that breaking ball that he tried to dot on the outside part of the plate. Spiked it. Gurriel just has an uncanny. I just don't know. I don't know how much longer the reverse splits will be the way it is, meaning he just really prefers facing right-handers than he does left-handers. Such a good hitter against right-handers, and he makes them work so hard to get him out because he makes so much contact.
He struck out last night, but he had gone 64 straight postseason at bats without a strikeout. Here he's just battling to stay alive. He struck out last night in his 3rd at bat. That was the final hitter that Max Scherzer faced.
And there's the numbers on the year. I mean, that's significant. I mean, normally it goes the other way. When you're facing your opposite arm on the mound, you should have an advantage.
Well, now the count's full. And so far this postseason, Strasburg has struck out 39 and walked 1.
Is that a good ratio?
It's pretty good.
Well, from 0-2 to 3-2, That's what these Astros can do to you.
Down toward the corner, fair. Gurriel will dig for second with the one-out double.
That's just great hitting. I mean, it's hard to even talk about how good he is inside there. He takes a long bat and makes it short. And pulling his hands in and getting the barrel to it, still having power and still keeping it fair.
He gives an RBI chance now to Yordan Alvarez, who was lined out singled. Last night, 2 hits and a walk as he's getting locked in again.
Yankees were making a lot of fastballs inside part of the plate, making it tough for him, getting him off his game. Nationals haven't been able to pound that fastball in on him.
The rookie DH takes high for ball 1.
And that's what's been happening. They've been missing up when they try to go in, and that is allowing him to stay on the breaking ball a little bit better. When you throw fastballs for strikes against this guy, you're going to have a better chance of getting him out.
Just inside 2-0. And with the way Alvarez has been swinging the bat, Davey Martinez says, let's put him on. So the intentional walk to bring in Carlos Correa. And in that Game 2 ALCS affair against the Yankees, it was Correa who had an RBI double early in the game-winning home run in the 11th inning to win it, to even that series.
Even though it wasn't a real intentional walk, it'll go down as one. And sometimes the guy on deck gets a little motivated when that happens, saying, okay, want to face me?
Here's what Correa did almost 5 hours after it started that night. Took Jay Happ over the wall in right. He said, let me hear you. And a 3-2 win in Game 2 of the ALCS, the result. Almost walked into it. Ball 1 inside.
When you get up there and pitches, you start getting just a little bit underneath the baseball. And that's the one thing that you watch for if you're the pitching coach. And, of course, Davey Martinez. More than likely, this is the last inning for Strasburg. Once again, the Nationals have made that pitch count go up. They made Scherzer work like crazy. Now they're making Strasburg.
Breaking ball fouled back is Fernando Rodney, the oldest player in the game at 42 years old. Added in season is getting loose.
When you get to this part of the game, and a lot of these guys on the National staff are used to it. They've been facing guys 3 times, pitching deep into the game. You get more conscious location where you make that more of a mental note, because you can't get away with stuff in the strike zone the later you get in the game. So you try to not get beat with location and not focus so much on your velocity.
Ball.
2-2. That was a tough take. I mean, that is a pitcher right now. You're going, I just threw you my best changeup, and that's what you did. Could have got called for a strike, and you spit on it.
Look where that hit in that box, and it was caught right off the top of the dirt. That's how much that ball just fell to the ground when it got to the plate. Correa trying to make it even louder in here.
Ball, that's out.
Just outside. And a full count.
What a pitch. What a good take. See if we see a 3-2 breaking ball. And a little bit of emotion out of Strasburg.
Broken bat. Out behind second for Cabrera. Infield fly rule was in effect. Catch is made. 2 down.
Wow, what a gutsy 3-2 changeup. He went to that. It actually broke his bat. This pitch was up. And there's the grip. And it's one of those higher changeup that just gets in on the barrel of the bat, cracks the bat. Big out.
And now with Chirinos, the scheduled hitter, Kyle Tucker is going to come off the bench and hit for him. A meeting on the mound as Paul Menhart, the pitching coach, goes out to talk to Strasburg. We've got action and drama in the 6th. And now a quick word from Evan Williams.
Get ready for the next pitch with Evan Williams, bourbon done right.
Tucker, a good fastball hitter. Giving him a little bit of a scouting report, giving him a little bit of break. He's been grinding in this situation. Tucker's looking to hit a fastball. Got a long swing that covers the strike zone. See if that changeup that has been thrown a lot tonight by Strasburg becomes a big pitch against Tucker.
Hit 34 home runs at AAA, 4 more in the big leagues this year. Last night came through as a pinch hitter, singled, eventually scored a run.
Ball.
Lays off. Ball 1.
Every pitcher wants to throw the pitch, no matter what it is, no matter what the grip is, on top of the ball so you get the best movement and velocity behind it. And when you get a little tired, you get a little underneath the ball, which therefore creates a lag, and your location suffers. Natural when you start getting up in pitch counts.
Astros call on the rookie Tucker. Almost caught him on the foot. 2-0. Hitting with runners in scoring position has been an issue. 179 now in the postseason. Good pitch for strike 1. To go to the next level, the Astros sitting 146 with runners in scoring position and 2 out. He went. 2-2.
So when Strasburg needed it the most, he went to a curveball to get back on the count and a filthy changeup. 2-2. I think you can almost back it up again. Throw the same changeup.
Can Kyle Tucker deliver for Houston? Did not cut down on his swing. 94-mile-per-hour fastball fouled away.
Well, the Nationals rely heavily on their starting pitching, as does A.J. Hinch and the Astros. Nothing could be more true than right now. 112th pitch getting ready to be made. Game on the line.
Bubble!
Tucker, obviously, with the year he put together at AAA, a top prospect for the Astros and somebody they were unwilling to deal at the deadline. They did make 3 trades. Biggest addition, Zach Greinke, who will get the ball in Game 3 on Friday in D.C. And take on Anibal Sanchez. Another 2-2 pitch. Full count, and the runners will get a head start. Two-year-old Kyle Tucker trying to come through in the 6th. Struck him out looking. What a job tonight by Steven Strasburg. And this game, Game 2, stays 2-2 as we go to the 7th in Houston. Back after this from your local Fox station. It's been tense in Minute Maid Park, but all the scoring in the first inning. 2-2. 7th now, and Verlander back to work. Pitch is high to Suzuki. New catcher is Martin Maldonado. After the Astros pinch hit Kyle Tucker for Robinson Chirinos.
That's always a little dicey for a manager when he knows the pitcher-catcher combination's been clicking.
Here's one hammered into left. Off the bat of Suzuki and gone. Nationals jump back on top. It's 3-2 here in the 7th. Hit big home run after big home run this year for Washington. None bigger than that.
You ain't kidding.
A strike now to Robles. Second hit of the night for Suzuki. And that was a blast into left center. And they certainly know how to celebrate that dugout.
They have changed a lot of things in that clubhouse from 12 games under to the second half run. Loose, they have fun, good blend. They're feeling pretty good right now.
One ball, one strike as this crowd is stunned here in Houston. 1-1.
Ball, that's out.
This is outside. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch number 100 out of the right hand from Justin Verlander tonight. Ends up over the wall and left. Suzuki delivers. Now a foul tip. 2-2.
Four-seam fastball, but middle, just above the belt. He knew it. Verlander knew it. And this crowd got quiet.
What a time for Kurt Suzuki to come up with his first home run of this postseason and his first RBI. And Steven Strasburg talks to Paul Menhart. Here's a 3-2 now to Robles. Back here. Kenny.
Guys, Kurt Suzuki, 36 years old. And remember all those pitches he blocked in the dirt from Max Scherzer last night? Well, he woke up sore today. Sore in his back and his hips, require a lot of stretching. He told me that first inning when Springer advanced to third on the wild pitch, a 25-year-old Kurt Suzuki throws Springer out. The 36-year-old one had problems getting up.
Well, he got one up and out here in the 7th inning, and it's followed by a walk by Verlander. Robles is on. And he's another guy that runs. Here comes A.J. Hinch.
I think A.J. is going to have a conversation at the mound that may include the umpire. Some of the pitches that both the pitchers weren't getting. Let's see if no, they're going to make the move right away.
And a little look from Verlander as he exits to a nice ovation from these fans in Houston. Presley will take over here in the 7th. Then a walk and a 107 pitch night for Justin Verlander. Ends here in the 7th as Ryan Presley deals high and inside to Trey Turner. They're the numbers this postseason in 6 games for Presley. Thought we had seen the last of him for this season when he exited game 6 of the ALCS. Thought he had re-injured his bad right knee, but he just knocked some scar tissue loose, so he's able to roll forward, and the count is 2-0 now. His first pitches here in the World Series.
Well, Strasburg gets out of that jam. High stress situation, 3-2 pitch. And then his catcher rewards him on the very next inning. Potentially in line for the win.
Here's the 2-0. That is down, the count 3-0. Strasburg still in the dugout. There's the strike from Presley. .114 pitches so far for Strasburg. .3-1. Popped up, back and out of play, full count.
Each inning that went by said the pressure starts mounting on the Houston Astros. They've had opportunities, it's seemingly the last 7 games, and just really didn't get the one hit to break it open in any of those games. relying heavily on their pitchers to outpitch the opponents.
How about that stat? No pitcher has lost his first 5 World Series decisions. I mean, this is one of the great pitchers in the game. Making his 6th World Series start here tonight. He's 0 for 4. Runner goes, pitches high, ball 4, and it's 2 on, nobody out. So Presley comes out of the bullpen and walks the first man he faces. Our 4D replay is sponsored by T-Mobile.
Oh, if it only seemed that easy, right? Looks like the timing, slow motion. But Suzuki all over that fastball.
One of the guys that's pulling the average age of this Nationals roster up. 31 plus years old is the average age. Oldest team in baseball, and here they are. Chance for Eaton to bunt if he wants, and he drops it down. A look. He out at first, and the runners advance to second and third on a good bunt by Adam Eaton.
Well, the reason you can do that right there and say, well, they're just going to walk Rendon, load the bases up. Guess who's coming up if they do that?
So, our player resume sponsored by Indeed. And the local kid born in Houston, Texas. All-state selection at Lamar High School, 6 miles from here. Great player at Rice University, 5 miles from here. June 29, 2010, declared Anthony Rendon Day in Houston. They'll have one in D.C. if he delivers here. Grew up an Astros fan. He could break hearts here in the 7th inning by adding to this lead. Strike 1.
Great power curveball right there by Presley, and that's the go-to pitch for him.
Infield is in. Great speed on. Runners at second and third. A check swing on a pitch in the dirt.
You know, for pitchers, you can't afford to have any kind of lower extremity injuries. I mean, right knee, left ankle, left ankle, doesn't matter. You got to use them both. And so staying over the river and getting downhill, you use that right knee to do that. Of course, then you're going to land on your left knee and get through it. And that's where you transfer all your weight. But got to believe it's not perfect for him.
1-1 pitch. Skied into center. Robles is the runner. Springer coming on, makes the catch. Runner stops. A strike thrown by Springer, 2 out. Can't do it any better than George Springer, who had all his momentum coming in for that throw home.
And now we'll see if AJ gives the ultimate respect to this 20-year-old as you see the pop-up doesn't get deep enough, and see if they walk him, and then definitely they are going to walk him. But no way can they test Springer. Good arm.
A one-hop strike right into the chest of Maldonado. And the intentional pass now, as you say, given to Soto to load him up for Kendrick, who has liked the bases loaded in this postseason.
I'll say.
Especially back in L.A. with his grand slam in the 10th in Game 5. Will this stay a 1-run game? Presley to Kendrick. Strike 1, and Maldonado couldn't catch it.
Again, another one that backed up and didn't have the trajectory that you're used to as a catcher. Power breaking ball that went in instead of away. Kendrick saw the way that Maldonado kind of waved at it. didn't think that was a strike.
First baseball team in the majors since 1955 without an intentional walk issued, and they just did it here to Juan Soto. To load him up for Kendrick. Left side. Bregman can't make the play. One more run across for the Nationals. It's 4-2. Wesley got the ground ball. Bregman could not turn it into an out as he moved to his left. And it's a base hit for an RBI.
Contact. You never know what's going to happen. Two of the best teams in baseball at putting the ball in play. Two of the best teams in baseball with 2 strikes. Contact got rewarded.
And the best team, the Houston Astros in the American League in fielding percentage during the regular season, committed only 71 errors. That goes down as a hit, but I guarantee you Bregman will tell you that's a play he should have made and an out that was there that they didn't get. Batter now is Asdrubal Cabrera as the lead is 2 for the Nationals here in the 7th. One ball, one strike. Verlander goes 6+, allows 4 runs on 7 hits. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. The home run in this inning by Suzuki. He threw 107 pitches. Josh James getting loose. Cabrera chops it foul. Strike 2. Fernando Rodney is still up for the Nationals in their bullpen, but Strasburg is still seated in the dugout with his 114 pitches. We'll see who takes the mound in the bottom of this 7th. That's into center field, and a couple more will score. Cabrera delivers. And it's 6-2 Washington here in the 7th. What an inning for the Nationals here in Game 2.
Went with the slider instead of the curveball, and he caught too much of the plate. Thinking breaking ball, but it only got the slider. And Strasburg going with that length to the bullpen gives them 4 runs to play with.
And a little baby shark salute. Here's Zimmerman, 9th man to bat in the inning. Strike 1. Nationals put up 4, have a chance for more. Getting contribution up and down their lineup, not just tonight. That one squirts away from Maldonado, and Kendrick to 3rd. Cabrera to 2nd, and a hit could add 2 more. One ball, one strike on Ryan Zimmerman. It goes down as a wild pitch. Presley trying to stop the bleeding over the top breaking ball for strike 2.
Let's see his third one in a row here.
Two and two. Well, now with a 4-run lead, you wonder if that makes the decision to go to the bullpen a little easier for the Nationals.
Yeah, I think they were going no matter what, and Rodney's just pacing himself, knowing he has a little more room to play with when he gets out there.
2-2 pitch.
Oh, that's down.
Just low in a full count.
Just missed.
Breaking ball chopped to third, tough play. Zimmerman safe, throw gets away. 2 more runs cross. Nobody's at second, so Zimmerman slides in. And it's 8-2 here in the 7th inning. As the pitching and the defense have let down the Astros and A.J. Hinch. It goes down as a single, an RBI, and then E5 on this throw.
All these runs are going to score on 2 balls that kind of stayed in the infield.
Just putting the ball in play. It's what the Nationals have done. It started with a home run. And the Nationals lead is 6. Gets to bat for the 2nd time in the 7th inning.
You don't see that very often, especially in the World Series.
Josh James takes over. And that's in at 97 for strike 1.
1 inch. Ball got out of Bregman's glove, and this opened up a huge inning for the Nationals.
36-year-old Kurt Suzuki. How about that? The oldest player with a go-ahead home run in a 7th inning or later since 1949. And he made it count. He grounds out here. But here's how it started, with a home run, the celebration, the smiles, the frustration for the players, elation for the Nationals dugout, and the frustration in the stands. 8-2, time to stretch. Nationals get to go to their bullpen with a 6-run lead. It's 8-2, bottom of the 7th inning. And 42-year-old Fernando Rodney, his 4th game of the postseason, misses inside to Reddick. Ball 1, and this is a 6-run game, but the Astros have 9 outs left to try to do something about it against a bullpen that has some question marks. That's ball 2, 2-0.
And you have to make Rodney throw strikes. This is the one area that he can get loose with the strike zone. He's got a great fastball changeup combination. But if you're the Astros here, obviously getting a couple runs here, getting some mojo going and creating some better at-bats, force the Nats to use as many guys as they can in this game.
Swinging on 2-0, down by 6, and fouled away 2-1. Rainey pitched last night. Tanner getting loose again tonight.
So the Nats, you want to know why they've had such success? 30 of their runs scored with 2 outs.
2-2 on Reddick. You can hear him yelling at himself after fouling that one away. Rodney signed in June. Was released by Oakland early in the year at the end of May. Came to the big leagues in 2002 with Detroit. And he was a teammate in 03 of the Astros manager, A.J. Hinch. That's inside a full count. 2003 Tigers. A.J. Hinch to the left and Fernando Rodney hat on straight on the right. The team lost 119 games. A leadoff walk. So maybe some action here for Houston in the 7th. We'll welcome you inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. That is the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. And we were talking during the ALCS. If the series ended in 6, well, then the Astros will have Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander for games 1 and 2 of the World Series. That happened. They did. And here are the Nationals. They won last night, and they lead tonight by 6.
Well, the Nationals have something special. Of course, they've won a bunch of games down the stretch. They're on a nice winning streak right now, and they believe. And that doesn't mean you're going to win all the games because you believe, but that chemistry does speak to the way this team has been playing lately. They're not afraid of anybody. They went through the Dodgers. They went through the St. Louis Cardinals in 4 games, and they feel like, you know what, we're coming here to win 1. Looks like they got a chance to win 2.
So a leadoff walk and now a 1-1 count on George Springer. Rodney deals. This bullpen for the Nationals during the regular season not good statistically, although they pulled it together, especially with the late inning guys late in the year in this postseason. But a 5.68 bullpen ERA last in the National League. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Fouled back,
well,
2-2.
They've tightened down the hatches down the stretch because they've basically gone to only 3 guys. They've used starters in relief. They've used starters for the bulk of their innings. And right now, if you're Rodney, you just got to give up hits if you're going to give up runners. You don't want to give up free base runners with the walk. You can live with giving up a hit.
Left side, fair ball, Rendon to second. What a play. And he gets applause from Asdrubal Cabrera. That was not an easy chance. And he fired a strike to the second base bag.
Well, for the throws he makes, I mean, this little 3/4 sidearm works good for plays like this or plays down the line. He's got to throw to first. So far, the Nationals have done all the little things. They've done all the little things to put pressure on the favored Astros. First and second, nobody out. They executed a bunt. They made contact plays work out. The Astros uncharacteristically wasn't able to make a couple plays.
A strike into Altuve. And that's kind of how the Nationals got here. I mean, they're not a team that's reliant on the home run ball. They can hit home runs, but it's about getting on base, stealing bases, moving runners over. Strike 2 on Altuve.
And you'll get a chance to see the real National League style that they play when they go home. And they're not going to have the DH, of course, so there's going to be a little bit more of outs at the bottom of the order, more strategy and how you're going to move runners and get them over.
There's the 7-game winning streak. Some of the particulars: hitting .340 during the streak with runners in scoring position, and maybe that bottom line is as important as any of it. It's not just this run in the postseason, but they've won 17 of their last 19 overall. What a run. They're confident. They've got a good mix of young and old. They've got a manager who played for a long time in the big leagues, long enough that he was one of your teammates in years gone by, and he seems willing to just let these guys be themselves, have their fun in the dugout, and builds them up, lets them go play.
Well, game 3 will be Greinke and Sanchez. And if he gets his wish and Washington gets their wish, what do you call that, baby shark?
Yeah, here's a little pop-up on the infield. Turner puts away out number 2. And the group hugs are big on that. They've got the giveaway sunglasses that they've been wearing for the bulk of the year. And Strasburg gets the now 4-way hug down in the dugout. That's like you and Maddox and Glavine and Leo Mazzoni back in the day.
Yeah.
Here's Brantley. There's strike 1 as Rodney tries to pitch around a leadoff walk.
Well, make no mistake about it. The Houston Astros know this wasn't their best game. Still a couple innings to try to do something about it, but this team is well equipped. AJ knows his ball club. Well equipped to get going. And all they have to do is be closer to the regular season offense, where with runners in scoring position, they were monsters. They were able to make a lot of teams feel their pain when runners got in scoring positions. They can do that again. They just haven't really done that up until this point.
Rodney trying to pick up 3 big outs here in game 2. 1-2 now on Brantley. It's continued for Houston. 0 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position. They have a man at first here, not in scoring position, but had a guy there, nobody out, guy there, 2 out, and that's upstairs. 2-2 on Brantley.
The beauty of a best-of-7 series is if you're down 2 games to none, you're not basically facing. You just don't want to face elimination games. So you got a chance to crawl back into this series, and what we call the teeter-totter. That the game 3 is so important. It swings the series one way or the other, and I've been on both sides of it.
Right side, Zimmerman to his right makes a nice play. And Fernando Rodney, 42 years old, doesn't worry about the leadoff walk. 8-2 Nationals after 7 in game 2. Eighth inning of game 2 rolls in. Rather listen to Bowie. Play that under the action, and the ratings will spike. Here's a foul backing out of play. 0-2. Robles is up. Suzuki, the number 8 hitter, is the one who started it with a home run last inning, then a walk. That was it for Verlander, who ended up giving up 4 runs tonight. It's an 8-2 ball game. That's down and away 1-2. Kurt Suzuki, by the way, the catcher for the Nationals, the last catcher with a go-ahead home run in the 7th inning or later in World Series play was Steve Yeager of the Dodgers back in 1981, game 5. 1-2. Still 1-2. Tom?
Well, Joe, you know as well as anybody, the postseason spotlight is like a roulette wheel. You never know where it's going to land. And tonight, it landed on that man, Kurt Suzuki. Think about his career. 10 years, 4 different teams. Career average, very average, 259. Career in the postseason, 160. You see the strike 3 get away with no extra base hits. He's known as a great receiver, a great game caller, and a Justin Verlander nemesis. He's had 45 at-bats against Justin and is a career .356 hitter against Justin Verlander. That's a huge sample size. 45 at-bats. He is a stone in the shoe of Justin Verlander.
2 for 3 tonight with that home run. A single early. It's a strikeout, and then we're waiting to see if they say wild pitch or pass ball. Either way. And it's a passed ball. It's been a little iffy back there for the Astros here of late.
Yeah, and that's something they got to clean up because that's something they're much better at.
First pitch is strike to Trey Turner. 1 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 runs scored.
Trey Turner's so important to the Nationals. Can't even tell you what he means when he gets on the bases. And again, people don't understand what that translates to. He got a walk, which led to a single to Eaton, which led to a double, 2-0. In the big inning, after the homer and another walk, he got another one that's created the sacrifice, which created stress, and then the 6th spot in the 7th inning. All this adds up.
He strikes out here. 1 on, 1 out. And the batter is Adam Eaton, who dropped down a perfect sacrifice bunt last inning to advance the runners to 2nd and 3rd. And this one is rocketed out to right. Goodbye. 10-2. And the Nationals have just come in here and put their mark on this World Series. They beat Garrett Cole last night, and they're on their way to beating Justin Verlander tonight. With 1 out and nobody on, a ball is into Rendon.
Sneaky power when he pulls it.
One 1-0 pitch drops in. I don't know how fast Adam Eaton went around the bases, but he almost caught Robles, who was trotting while Eaton was running on that home run to right.
It's top 5 trots for sure in baseball.
It's a sprint. Strike 2 on Rendon. He drove home the first 2 runs tonight with a double high off the wall in the first. Clearly, the Nationals are carving out time in their team meetings for celebration conversation. Yeah, that stuff doesn't just happen.
No, there's some practicing going on. I'd like to see it. Probably starts in spring training.
Well, definitely picked up once they got Gerardo Parra. A strikeout of Rendon for out number 2 in the inning. Rodney's been a part of that. Anibal Sanchez has chipped in. What's this sprint? Starts getting faster. And Robles is being chased down. 19 seconds around the bases. Here's Juan Soto, takes the ball. Well, when we get to Nationals Park on Friday night, You asked Davey Martinez about it, the manager, about the atmosphere that we will experience, and he said it was off the charts, and it is going to be crazy there on Friday night.
Yeah, if there's a chance that it could get even crazier, it would be that they come home 2-0.
DC will be hosting its first World Series game since they lost in Game 5 back in 1933 to the New York Giants. That's how long it's been. That's up 3-1 on Soto.
Well, you brought it up. I remember the plane flight from New York back to Atlanta.
What John is referencing, and he's having a tough time spitting it out here.
Yeah, being up 2-0. I mean, there's not a greater feeling in the world. There's not going to be a better flight for them to go home.
That's a strike.
But I'm sure what their manager and everything that happens in the past, you always use examples, they aren't going to be thinking about anything other than winning Game 3. They win tonight, win Game 3. They're not thinking about history, what. But I'm just telling you from an experience point of view, in the series, things can turn, and they can turn in ways you never expect.
Here's a walk to Soto. So back in '96, John was on the short end in the end, but you guys and the Braves took a 2-0 lead at Yankee Stadium before we knew how great that Yankees team was going to be. Derek Jeter was the end of his rookie season. That core four, and they were all getting established. In fact, Mariano Rivera was the setup man for John Wetland back then.
Yeah.
But the series shifted to Atlanta, and the Yankees won the next 4 games and won the World Series.
And spun that into a 3 out of 4 World Series run for a great team.
So it's the '96 Yankees, the '86 Mets, and the '85 Kansas City Royals. The only teams to go down 0-2 with the first 2 games at home and come back and win the series. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Kendrick takes a strike. Kendrick put the ball in play. It was a 1-run game when he was last at the plate in the 7th inning. Bases loaded, 2 out. Chopped one to the left of Bregman. He moved toward it, had it go in and out of his glove. And then all heck broke loose after that. 6-run frame, 2 more here in the 8th, and an 8-run lead. As that misses outside, a 2-2 count.
And that's what I'm talking about, an individual game. This game was played so tightly contested, and it was a homer that, took the lead 3-2 in the 7th. All right, no biggie. The Houston Astros weren't able to make that one play to let their offense be part of that bullpen the Nats have.
Base hit for Kendrick. A clean single through the left side, and the top of the 8th inning continues. Friday night, we're in Washington, D.C. for Game 3 of the World Series at 7:30 Eastern on Fox. And don't forget, you can download the Fox Sports Super 6 app for a chance to play along at home and win cash prizes. Matchup of Zach Greinke and Anibal Sanchez, who's been lights out this postseason. Here comes Hector Rondon, the right-hander, with 2 on. Washington Nationals franchise. They won last night 5-4. They lead tonight 10-2, and they have a chance for more here in the 8th. Hector Rondon has not been used much this postseason. He gets a chance here to maybe work his way up the ladder in the eyes of A.J. Hinch as he faces Asdrubal Cabrera with 2 on, 2 out, and he misses down for ball 2.
So the unknown, as you just kind of play these games and what the rest of the series is going to look like. Of course, the Astros really don't have a 4th starter. The Nationals do. They used him in the pen yesterday, and Corbin. Sanchez starts game 3. Greinke starts game 3. Be interesting to see what AJ does. Both his horses pitched deep into the game and threw a lot of pitches. Don't anticipate Cole coming back on 3 days rest, but their focus is going to be solely on winning somehow game 3. And you see what Greinke's been able to do in the postseason.
Good swing by Cabrera. He's 0-2 with an ERA just under 6.5.
Yeah, and it's been strange too, because he'll have a lot of rest in between some of those starts. Of course, he had a ton of rest before his game 3 start. You don't see, he's not worried about it, by the way. He's not fazed by what he's going to do in game 3, but he's been brought over here for that reason. And what bigger game he will be pitching than game 3 with his team trailing more than likely 2-0.
Here's the 2-2 from Rondon, and that's into right center field. It will get down. They bring the runner Soto around third. He'll score, and it's 11-2 here in the 8th.
You know, the Boston Red Sox won it all last year, and they won it with a ton of 2-out RBIs and 2-out magic, and whoever they put in did the job. This is coming like a mini Boston scenario here with Washington and their 2-out runs that they've had in the postseason. It's such a backbreaker to the opposing club when you're an out away, a play away, and the inning breaks open.
Fastball from Rondon, a strike to Ryan Zimmerman. 8 2-out runs for the Nationals in this game.
It's amazing, and they've been doing it all postseason.
They're over 50%, 54% of their runs this postseason scored with 2 outs.
That just doesn't make sense, but it's why they're having a special year.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Hard hit. What a play by Altuve. He's still playing hard. And that ends the inning. Good play to his left. You think these Nationals are having any fun? You bet. Tanner Rainey takes over last night. He worked in that tight game 1. The rookie right-hander with his great stuff will deal with Bregman. And Bregman hammers at the first pitch, pops it to Eaton in right. 1 out. Michael Taylor takes over in center field with Rainey on the mound. And as we give you T-Mobile takes fans further for the future of baseball, we take a look at the best of the 4D replays tonight. Sponsored by T-Mobile. And the 2 swings in the 7th. That last one, the 2-run base hit by Asdrubal Cabrera. And the catcher Suzuki started it all with a big home run to left. 99 from Rainey. I think what's happening here, John, is Dave Martinez trying to get Rainey back out there. Maybe give him a little shot of confidence after not getting through an inning here last night.
Yeah, I could see that. And then at the same time, the Astros get to see him again. But he's going to be so important. I called him the wild card. And the reason is because he's so dominant, but at the same time hasn't been through this and can lose the strike zone. Probably a good call to just get him a clean inning and let him know he's going to be super important the next 4 games.
0-2 to Gurriel is down. Strasburg is headed for his 4th win of this postseason. He went 6, 2 runs, 7 hits. Struck out 7, walked 1. It was an intentional walk through 114 pitches. Allowed that home run to Bregman in the 1st inning, and that's it. 2-2.
He's been so good at home. Unless we misread something, he won't be slated for games 5, 6. That's right, 6. So he kind of misses out on a home start. But he won't care if it's in his favor, and he doesn't even get a chance to pitch game 6.
Yeah, it's Greinke at Sanchez game 3. Bullpen for Houston is the plan right now. Plans have a tendency to change this time of year, but that's the plan for Houston in game 4 against Patrick Corbin. And if there's a game 5 on Sunday, back to the first matchup, which was Garrett Cole and Max Scherzer on Sunday night.
It's all, you know, it's a simple process. You tell your team, all we got to do is get it back to Cole and Verlander. And then take our chances with whatever happens if it's a game 7 or you're able to win the next 4 games. That's really the simplest plan. It's like just got to get Verlander and Cole another start each, and you're going to like your chances to compete.
Cole, by the way, you were talking about it, went deep into the ball game last night. 7 innings through 104 pitches. Verlander 107 tonight. That's into right center, and Taylor just into the game, grabs it 2 down. And Gurriel 1 for 4 tonight. We'll bring in Yordan Alvarez. Alvarez intentionally walked by Strasburg in that 6th inning, his final inning of work. To get to Correa, he popped up, and then a strikeout of the pinch hitter Kyle Tucker, which took Chirinos out of the game, John. Brought Maldonado in to catch. Chirinos has been the catcher all year for Justin Verlander. Maldonado took over, and the very next hitter that Justin Verlander faced to start the 7th inning, Kurt Suzuki, homered to break a 2-2 tie.
Yeah, managers don't like to do that, especially when they're clicking, but for the purpose of making some offense happen, sometimes that's a necessity. It was really the next batter, a real close 2-2 pitch that Justin thought he had strike 3. That set everything in motion, and then AJ had to take him out, and the rest of that inning ended up being kind of chaotic.
Meanwhile, this young right-hander who is packed into his Nationals uniform is throwing great.
Got a great arm.
1-2 pitch to Yordan Alvarez. Wow. 99 and a 1-2-3 8th inning for Tanner Rainey. It's all working tonight for the Nationals, leading 11-2 after 8. Ball game in center. George Springer moves over to right, and Chris Davinsky, who was a part of the World Championship for the Astros in 2017, was not a part of the active roster the first couple of rounds of the playoffs. Brought back, and his breaking ball is in for a strike to one of the heroes for the Nationals tonight, Kurt Suzuki.
Yes, he has.
95 rides up and in, a ball and a strike.
You always know going home, your crowd's going to cheer extra loud, especially if you had a big play or a big hit or a big moment that got you to this point.
Chops to the left side. Bregman runs and throws and gets him one away. Well, that'll be the case on Friday night. They will let Kurt Suzuki hear it because of this rewarding performance sponsored by Capital One, and his home run traveling 381 feet, left at just under 100 miles per hour at a launch angle of 32 degrees, and it turns into a 3-2 lead at the time. It's 11-2 now here in the 9th. Taylor hits one in the air to left, back at the wall. It is gone, way out of here. His second of this postseason, and Michael A. Taylor has made it 12-2 Washington here in the 9th. Crushed. More home runs in the postseason than in the regular season.
It's amazing. I mean, it might be the worst thing that could happen to the Nationals. They got to play and they got to have an off day, a travel day. It's the best thing that could happen to the Astros. But when you're this hot and you're feeling this good, you want to keep rolling. They'll try to keep that mojo going. Tomorrow might be more optional if they get to the park.
Third home run over the last 3 innings. 17 runs, the most by a road team in the first 2 games of a World Series since the 1960 Yankees. How'd that one turn out? There you go. The Yankees lost that series thanks to Mr. Mazeroski.
Bill Mazeroski.
Forbes Field. I feel like we've referenced that once every 2 games. This postseason, a strikeout of Trey Turner. And 2 out here in the ninth. And now the number 2 hitter in the lineup, Adam Eaton, who is, he dropped down a bunt in the 7th. It was beautifully executed. His spot is taken now by Parra. Gerardo, who has kind of taken on the emotional leadership role for this team, and he hits that one foul. In the 8th inning, Eaton was lifted for the pinch hitter here. StatCast is powered by AWS. This is not exactly next level stuff. 19 seconds and change to get around the bases, and Parra, who is beloved in DC for the whole Baby Shark thing, he was struggling, and in order to change his luck, went to the Baby Shark song in honor of his 2-year-old daughter, and he made an out, I believe, in his first at bat, and then later doubled and homered in that game. So, I mean, just you have to be barely superstitious to keep Baby Shark around if that's the if that's the case.
You know what got me my song when I went to the bullpen? Because I didn't believe in that. They were like, "Hey, you need a song." I'm like, "I don't have a song when I come out of the bullpen. Just play whatever you want." So one night, they obviously didn't know I was coming in. I come strolling into Dancing Queen by ABBA.
Is that so?
Yeah, and I like it. I like ABBA, and I got the, I had the CD, but it was just not something you come into trying to close out the 9th inning. So that forced me to get a song.
But did you get the save?
I did. I had to cover my mouth when I went to because the guy on the on-deck circle was laughing. And,
well, let me say this. For those of us, I mean, I'm a parent 2 times around now. I didn't need an education on the Baby Shark song. I've been living with that with my 1.5-year-old twin boys for the last year plus. And whoever the geniuses are at Pink Pong, there it is. It's haunting. It's mesmerizing. It's catchy. It doesn't leave you.
Mama Shark.
Man, I mean, it is all day on my TV at home. And Baby Shark and Daddy Shark and Mommy Shark and Grandpa Shark and Grandma Shark flies out the center. This is the World Series, right? Bottom of the 9th inning rolls in Houston, 12-2. As they look at it in the dugout, that was Rendon, and now out at third base. 12-2 is the score, and Javi Guerra takes over. Gerardo Parra stays in the game in right. Here's Guerra. Pitch is down for ball one. Guerra joined the Nationals in May. They just kept trying to reinvent their bullpen, moving guys in and out all season long. That ball is hit in the air to left center off the bat of Carlos Correa. And Michael A. Taylor drifts over to grab it. Toronto and Washington. This organization went to Toronto to get their right-handed half of the closing tandem, Daniel Hudson, as well. There are the numbers in 51 games combined.
Yeah, the ERA and blown saves. It was rough early for the Nationals. Of course, they weren't healthy in their offense, but they were not getting it done with their bullpen.
Pitch is down and away for a ball to Martin Maldonado.
And the conventional wisdom by all people in the game was if they get healthy, they're dangerous. But were they too far back? Were they going to be able to get in a position to be dangerous? And they sure did get in that position and held down that wild card spot.
This ball is smoked and gone off the bat of Martin Maldonado. And for the Astros, their first run since the first, it's 12-3.
And from my man Bob in the train, he's hoping that's not the last time he gets to operate it.
You're with Bob up there. I only know him as Bobby. Reddick grounds to the right side. Cabrera makes the play, and the Nationals are 1 out away from taking a 2-0 lead back home to D.C. for Game 3 on Friday night.
People who've watched them close and been with them may not be as surprised as the rest of the country is going to be surprised when they find out that the Nationals were able to come in here and win 2 games against Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander. That's exactly what they're going to do when they jump on that plane to head back home.
And despite all that good starting pitching, and we've seen 2 good ones the first 2 games for each side, but for the Nationals were a huge Vegas underdog coming into this series.
Don't tell those starters for the Nationals. Part of the reason why is the concern, we talked about it, the concern for the Nationals bullpen was if the Astros make the starters work real hard and they don't get to the 7th inning or 6th inning, that was going to be a lot of innings to try to shore up for the Nationals. And we saw it in Game 1. They were able to bring in Corbin. They were able to, Rainey had to get bailed out. Hudson did a great job, and then Doolittle finished it off.
Here's one to third. Rendon, long throw. Nationals will continue to play as Zimmerman can't dig it out. Probably a hit. They're going with an error. Wow, that's a tough error. Long throw, and Rendon couldn't get it there on a fly.
Well, that's part of that arm angle, right? He had to back up. He backs up and he sidearms it. The ball just has that funky spin. When you sidearm it, that's much harder than if you throw it over the top.
So the ball game continues for Altuve. 2 out of 4 tonight. Sticks the bat out, dumps it into center. Another hit for Altuve. Brantley was lifted with a defensive change, and so Jake Marisnick will get his first at bat. Javi Guerra trying to get the final out. Travel day tomorrow.
Jake was on deck in Game 6, and Chapman was facing Altuve, and he got a first-hand look on the on-deck circle of what Altuve was able to do to get him to this point. Right now, to Astros fans and to the Astros, that seems like a month ago.
0-1 to Marisnik.
Ball that's out.
Outside, a ball and a strike. Here's a 1-1. Strike two. Again, when we reconvene on Friday night in D.C., first World Series game in our nation's capital since 1933. It's the fourth World Series that D.C. has hosted. The only one they won was in 24. This is a different franchise. It started in Montreal. They're going to head home up 2-0. They'll hand the ball to Anibal Sanchez, who's been so good this postseason, taking on Zach Greinke. Big addition at the trade deadline by the Astros, and they need him to come up big. Still 2-2. That's Zach under the hood. Another 2-2 to Marisnik. Reaching for it, Rendon, tough play. Slams it for the out. Nationals up 2-0 as they win here tonight, 12-3. A lot of little things they did well, a lot of big things they did well. Starting pitching with Strasburg, the big home run by Suzuki, and in a game that lasted just over 4 hours, it's a 9-run victory for Washington. What a start.
Absolutely. They jumped out 2-0. Then Houston came right back. It was a stalemate to the 7th inning. Strasburg had some huge pitches in the bottom of the 6th. And then that man's team right there responded again. One big hit after another. Passing on the baton. Doing a lot of dancing in the dugout.
They have been having fun since their rough start at 19-31. Since then, they have the best record in baseball. If you include the postseason, they've won 18 out of their last 20, and they have won 8 straight in the postseason.
Talking to people following this team, they just say you couldn't have written a script and Hollywood wouldn't have taken it. They wouldn't have believed that Washington could have got to this point with 2 more wins away from winning a World Series.
12-3 is the